the depth of the
That's correct.
the discharge.
That's correct.
And if the water's moving or not moving is not measured, it's the height of the discharge. And if it's backed up, it's measuring it as a larger discharge than what it is.
That's correct. But I think there's a couple of things that need to happen here. And I think, one, we have to verify if what we fixed at the lift station, one, does help, or two, do we have a bigger I&I issue that's causing this, or a partial blockage that's causing it? And that's one. So we won't know that until we have a rainstorm. So we can't put the cart before the horse, because we unfortunately we're trying to resolve it, but we got steps that we need to go through too. But I think with that, he has a well there, so that there needs to be a meter on that, so that one, we know if someone says we didn't use it, we have a way to verify it. Because actually, there's no way to verify it if there's not a meter on it. So, we could be getting high flows. There could be someone in there dead knowing different, cracks that valve on, turns something, they don't know what they're turning, turn on that valve, and it runs for several days, and we can get a large flow, because if you look at these numbers, there's some of these that don't correlate with the rainfall. I mean, there's some, he still has high usage, but the rainfall's not quite up there. It kind of goes back and forth. So I think we need to do we still got some preliminary investigations to do, but I also think that we need to, one, verify what age of water meter that is in there, and if we need to update it, that's fine, but we also need to make sure that there's a meter on the well too. So that way, we ultimately know when they use well water and when they don't, because I think that's only fair for us to know when they use their well in their processes, because I do believe that the other group that was in there, they used the well all the time, and that is what drove them to have that meter in there, because they were using their well, they weren't using our main city water, so we had to bill them for sewer, because they were going to our sewer system, we were getting all these high flows. Well, that's what drove that meter to be installed there. Probably about 30 years ago, 28 to 30 years ago. So I do think there's some other things that have to go along. And yeah, could it take a little longer than the end of the year? Absolutely. But I think we need to have some time to gather some data too, to say what we fixed at that lift station does help. Because if it does, then we know ultimately there was an issue there. But if it doesn't help, and we still got spikes, at least we can verify whether he's using well also at the same time. So I just think there's some other stuff we need to do too.
Oh, my meeting just disappeared.
Process of elimination, I believe.
Yes. So, I mean, I have no problem. We need to send the guy a letter, say, here's what we're doing, here's why, and all that. I'm fine with that. I think that he has to be patient, because I'm not saying we don't maybe owe him a little bit back, but I don't think it's no drastic number. But I think we need time to verify that, that what we fixed at the lift station helped or doesn't help. So, but I think we need to do that and give us some time to process some eliminations to verify. Because
Is that building needed to be smoke tested? I mean, did that building get smoke tested when we were doing that?
Yes, the building got smoke tested.
Yeah.
And we have those results, and we've shared those results with Burnable also. So what we're doing now, because there are no records or nothing, and that's why I want to expand it into Dwayne's point till at least the end of the year, is that we got to be addressing this on facts, not by what happened, years ago when there is no documentation to show it. So that's why I'm asking that we stretch this analysis out until the end of the year, until we can look at it a little closer and to make sure that BSI has all the improvements in it, in the lift station.
Terry, how are you going to address to see if they will put a meter on the well?
I think I'm going to address it in my five-point proposal. We're not going to charge you with this, but we have to verify because we don't have any records. And
while you're doing that, verify that they have a backflow prevention device?
They do, Dwayne, and they do submit their reports every year. We watch, that's a part of our program, and we watch that really carefully. So yes, they are doing it.
I think I have no problem with us moving it out, stretching it, getting some data, checking, watching a few more things, make sure that happens, but also get him to have a meter installed on the well too. I think we need to do that too, so we can verify, with a radio read, we'll know when water gets used on the well, and we'll know, we can compare, hey, they use 50,000 gallons from the city, they use 200,000 gallons on the processes from the well. So I think we need to be able to compare those things. Not charging for it, but that would be what we charge you. If we didn't have a number to know how to bill in one sewer, more accurate than the flow meter. Because if you do it that way, you don't really need the flow meter up pit.
Yes, that is a true statement.
Because in all reality, that meter pit is null and void. You put a meter on the well, then you know what he uses well, bill for sewer. The master meter, you know what to bill in for sewer because it's meter. Anybody else got anything on that?
So Terry, just at this point, are you just going to put this in a letter and send it to Creative Foods and say, here's what we're going to do? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
That is correct.
Terry, if you want, in that letter, you'll make it a point that, yes, we're doing this, and this, but, in all reality, it would be a lot more accurate if we had a meter on the well and a meter on that. Then we can kind of look at those, and then if we get a huge number in between, then we can say, wait, we might have some more INI issues too. So you got 3 different tools there to help resolve that, help know what's going on too.
Well, I have.
Okay. Anybody else got any more business? New business.
Terry, for new business, do you just want to update everyone about the break over the weekend? It wasn't a big one or anything, but...
Boomer.
Yeah.
And it was a lateral split. It didn't take the guys very long to fix it. It just took longer to get to it. And waiting on oops, but so they fixed it. But then again, Saturday we got another call and it started leaking again. But this time it was further south on the line, and this time a hole about as big as a golf ball was in the line itself. So that took a little longer to fix because you all had that storm with the thunder and lightning. They had to pull Tyler out of the hole a couple of times because of the weather, but that is fixed. One of the things that we'll be doing in our next staff meeting is reviewing that list of water lines to be replaced if the bond levy goes through. And this area up there probably will get on that list because this is about the 5th time.